Hello. So this is WWF Superstars February the 22nd, 1992. The winning matches on this, and there's quite a big thing that happens at the end of it, and I will get to that. So the opening match was Bret the Hitman Hart versus Ed Robinson, and Bret got the win after putting Mr. Robinson in the sharpshooter, and he got the victory. During this match, the commentators, Perfect and Vince, announced that the number one contender for the Intercontinental title was Bret. So it will be Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper for the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 8. Next match was B.A. Dalton taking on the Native American Tatanka. Didn't go very long, and Tatanka won the match with a Samoan drop and got the win. So Tatanka there with the victory. And then the main in-ring event of the evening was Larry Williams and Jimmy James taking on Ted DiBiase and Owen I. Shyster, pre-Money Inc. They weren't called that at this point. Obviously, DiBiase and Shyster comfortably won this match. One of the opposition, I think it was Jimmy James, was put in the $1 Million Dream, and then Owen I. Shyster went, no, I'm going to give you the write-off, and he did, and they got the victory. No mention was made of them winning the tag titles at this point. As I've said in previous videos, they won it on February the 7th at a house show. Now, there's a reason why they randomly won it. Hawk failed a drugs test, so they put a match randomly together. I think it was like on the night. I don't, if I remember rightly, if I'm reading it right, from my memory, they put it together because it was quite a sudden thing that the Hawk was going to be pulled. So then DiBiase and IRS were put in a title match with Animal and Hawk, and then obviously they won the belts. But at this point on TV, it wasn't mentioned. But for historical accuracy, they were champions at this point, even though they weren't officially named as one. But they did have the titles. So yeah. So what was the big event at the end? So for a lot of the show, they were mentioning they were going to show the whole of the Savage Roberts match from Saturday night's main event, which was 2 weeks before. Either way, they were going to show that match. They certainly were, and they did. But what they didn't show on Saturday night event, they showed on the Superstars. So it's quite interesting, the ending, because Savage, Vince and Mr. Perfect were like having like a real proper conversation, and Vince was like thanking all the production staff and everything. And then I don't know if he was like taking the piss, but then he said to Perfect, "That was one of your worst performances, I thought." And then like they cut to the backstage, and there was Jake behind the stage curtain, and he was like talking to the camera. You couldn't quite hear what he was saying. And then you saw Miss Elizabeth and the Macho Man walking up the aisle back towards where the curtain was. And then Jake turned to the camera and went, "I don't care who comes through that curtain, I'm getting them." And he picked up a chair. He picked up a steel chair. And like, who's going to come through? And then like Elizabeth was there. And then Jay, and then Randy Savage was there. And like, he had the chair. Who's going to come through the curtain? And he was going to, and then he was stopped by The Undertaker. That's right, the Undertaker put his hand on the steel chair, stopped Jake using it on either Elizabeth or the Macho Man, and the Macho Man then picked up a chair and walloped Savage over the back with it, and then he was down. And the show ended with the Undertaker and Paul Bearer staring at the fallen Jake the Snake Roberts. What could this mean? Stay tuned and find out. And on that note, have a good Christmas, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.